Hello, and welcome to Roll4It Dark Heresy Civil War Aftershow. We've just had our team run in through a closing bay door, get into the launch bay of an Omnissiah taken over heretical ship asteroid thing, blast everyone to hell, and finally come to the warp forge for the confrontation with Binus. How did everyone find that session?
Fantastic.
And surprisingly well.
Yeah.
I think the only person who didn't enjoy that session was Skybeast. And honestly, I mean, I even checked it, and he's just like, yeah, I'm cool, so we're good.
I was so expecting it to, like just in the very final moments of the battle, that it'd be like, get out, and we'd both jump out the back as it exploded.
I was waiting for that, actually, yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is, if I'm not firing like a las cannon at you, health tends to decrease by very minor amounts, because heavy bolters and multi-lasers do a pretty small window of damage against you. And most of the damage is being done by crits anyway. The one time that you had a chunk of damage disappear was that, second round of shooting, when you were still getting into seats? And it did like 10 damage or something in one turn.
Oh, in space.
That made me think, oh god, we're not going to even make it to Binus, because if this fight had continued like that, we would have just been paced.
It was
floating through space.
Pretty damn good lucky rolls.
We need to note, though, that because we were engaged with Cassius's bullshit in the back, we didn't notice the ships coming up on us. That's a problem.
I love how he's turning this around. It's so mean. Poor Cassius alone.
It is all heritage.
I had a hard day.
I had a full explanation that was going to require deceit checks and everything, but then I just said, fuck it, once we started playing. I just didn't care enough. I was like, I already have my excuse, but I'm not going to justify anything to these uneducated plebs. They don't know anything. They don't know anything about the wonderful world of education and finger wiggling and literacy. It doesn't matter.
I like the fact that after you killed the two Arbeits, though, you just didn't care anymore. It's just like, oh, they're dead. Cool. You killed Junker.
Yeah, no one really...
We were busy.
We're busy, but no one even stopped to really reflect on it, except Enoch for about 2 seconds, like, what have I done? Yeah. Everyone else
Brander was like, what the hell have you done?
To be fair,
come on, Brander. Bullshit. Brander, you were eyeing him. You're like, oh, look, fresh legs. I wonder if that fits.
There was no time for you to think about it, because by the time you finished off, we had already taken like 1,000 damage from the first volley of fire from the two ships behind us. And so it was just like, all right, well, I guess that story point's getting skipped. Jump in the cockpit, let's go!
That was pretty much it, yeah. There was no time to mourn. None at all.
We're lucky you saved that edge, because if you had gotten stunned, I was looking forward to seeing Brander. If you had stayed stunned, I was really looking for the GM gymnastics that EE was going to use to try and get us out of that situation. From just getting shot to death floating in space with no way to resist it, because nobody else could fly the ship.
It was absolutely necessary to use that fate there. He had to. He rolled 5 turns of stun.
Yeah.
If he didn't have it, that was it. Like, the campaign was over. Finished. Done.
It was gonna, if you'd screwed up that badly and then you got yourself into the situation, it'd be someone's burning fate. It would be that bad.
But
just because
like,
the combination of
we were all burning fate, because we're all being exposed to the depths of space.
It's fate to avoid the situation, so it's flexible depending on what the GM says. I would say that instead of everyone gets stuck in vacuum and you survive, but now you're gonna die from like lack of oxygen, we prevent that situation happening.
So, what does everyone think about Binus's experiment?
Well, it's obviously a gene stealer from its little picture. It depends how nasty of a gene stealer it is, though, because the last one we fought was before we geared up. And so, like, I remember we saw that one, and it was doing, like, 15 pen 7 or something like that. We were like, oh my god! Whereas right now in the campaign, 15 pen 7 is a lot less terrifying for most of our characters. It still hurts.
Would insta-kill me.
Oh, it would insta-kill you? Okay.
Well, it would take me into critical, I'd probably still be alive.
Yeah, it totally just is a single attack. It doesn't have 4 arms.
Reasonable chance of not being messed up.
Yeah,
but it comes down to my ability to not be hit, not me tanking the blow.
Exactly.
We need to kill it before it gets to us. Luckily, there's about 2 million miles between us and it at the moment.
There's also an Enoch in between us and it, because he's going to rush that motherfucker early on. He's the only person that can hit for like 40 pen 10. It's just like, well, you're out front. Have fun.
Genuinely, if it gets into close combat with us, it will be my job to get in between it and the first person is trying to attack, because if I can manage to catch it. Now the thing with the Gene Stealer is it's super agile, so this is it's going to be difficult. But if I can snare it, then I'm just going to wail on it, and it'll have to use its whole next turn to get out of the snare. And while it's there, I do redonkulous damage.
Yeah, and I
My
think
damage
that's the big
goes
part.
up to 4d10.
And if you can soak some of its reflexes or some of its reactions, that leaves it open for a called shot from Shen, or for a Melta Blast from me that it can't dodge. It just fucking gets hit by that. And I mean,
is that as an experiment, it has some sort of squishy, vulnerable bits, that it's not a whole Gene Stealer. It's got some parts that have been added or taken away, because I can call shot down in a fight. But if that isn't there, that armor's going to be tough to get.
I'm looking forward to what happens when the Inquisitors show up.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
a fair point, actually.
I don't think it's going to be as gnarly as we think it's going to be.
Oh, one quick question, EE. You said that if we wanted to go to the Forge, or no, you said if we wanted to shut down the warp drive, it's right next to the Forge. So can we do that, or is that like a bygone exception?
We don't want the Forge to cool.
Some of the consoles in here, you can access the warp drive. That said, right now, Binus is kind of plugged into a console right in front of him. So
yeah, you're not going to fight Binus. Don't fight him in the Matrix. I can tell you right now, that's not going to end well.
If Carolinus had tried that, he would be gone.
But what if you roll a 1?
Be incinerated.
Then you're Neo. You just got to roll that 1 a lot.
You got to roll that 1 a lot, yeah. I need 4 rolls consecutively, all ones. Otherwise, we're all dead.
Hey, the Servitor's got 4 crits in a row. Anything can happen.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I thought with that last big hit where the Stubbers all rolled like 5 on 80 or whatever, I thought for sure they were going to get enough crits to knock the bird out of the air on that one.
And then they rolled
16
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, statistically, they should have got a couple off.
2 consecutive volleys of no crits. After that,
I got like 3, 4 like natural ones on the damage rolls. Like they didn't pull their weight.
You got 4 natural ones in a row.
Wow.
Shen got all the love on that one because on the next turn he got all the crits. All the statistical crits came on his turn. He got like 4 in a row, and so that's what happened right there. Randomness happened. It just happened.
The Emperor was like, "Don't worry, I got you. I got it this time."
Yeah, Garrett
he saw
was
the
kind
future.
of the
He saw
MVP
that
of
we were
this
just going
session
to
where
explode
just murdered
violently, and he's
everything.
like, "I'm going to fix this."
Yeah.
I think if there was enough time in this campaign, Garrett would try to take that multi-laser off of Skybeast and just find a way to carry it around to just use it for everything. It's ridiculous.
Bulging biceps. Bulging fucking biceps.
Probably don't have the aptitudes for that.
I'm really disappointed we don't have like a Devastator Marine on our team, because the second I saw bulging biceps, I was like, you could do an entire character build around just carrying a fucking, just a big ass assault cannon with you everywhere you go and just just like whacking if you get the ammo for it, I guess. That's the tough part, I suppose. Is you got to roll for the ammo every time. Yeah, it's not roll for it, it's roll for ammo.
Yeah, but you get the clips worth of ammo, so you get like 100 rounds every time.
That's true. So what are we looking at for XP today?
Effectively, because next episode you're up against like the end of everything. I'm going to say from now on, there is no... If you manage to make the next session a 2-parter, because it goes over a little bit or something, I don't think it would, but if it does, because there is some gnarly combat coming up, so it depends on how combat goes. I would say there's going to be no experience from now on, but you will get a lump of experience this time, and I think, quite frankly, you did really kind of well. I will say everyone can have 500 experience.
I was gonna say it'll probably just be a lump like here, have your toys before we end, you know, just like wee.
And how much fate do you have? Like anyone got 5?
I have 5. I'm maxed.
Okay.
Oh, but haven't you used some of it already?
I've used 2.
In the session, as soon as you defeat Binus, if you do, normally this would happen at the very end of the thing, but because it might make it more fun to happen beforehand, if you defeat Binus, and if you do successfully, and you do well, you will all get +1 fate permanently, because you normally get the end of an arc. And
Wow.
while this should happen
Cool.
after the Inquisitors all resolve their stuff, because effectively this is the end of the season, I'll give it to you a little bit early, so you've got it just in case shit goes south after Binus. So be aware that will be happening. You can't go over 5 to an extent, but at the same time, I don't really care at this point. So, sure.
I'll be the first person in the 41st millennium to have 6 fate. I am
At the same time as the next session is going to be super painful, so you will expect to be burning fate, some of you. That will be happening, probably.
I love
Is there
that.
really
It's
a
like,
limit?
I'm
Going
gonna
into
give
this
you
fight
fate 'cause
with
I'm gonna
the-
take a lot away.
Going into this
there-
fight with all my fates already spent.
Is there really a hard limit of 5 fate?
It's... I don't know, that it's implied in a lot of places. I can't remember if there is genuinely in the rulebook, but it's implied. I don't know if there is.
Then what I would suggest then to find a way to burn the fate instead of actually gaining another fate. Like find some thing to do with it.
I'd say
cool
something
if they
like,
just
honestly,
burn a fate
if you went to 5 fate and you couldn't get the 6, I'd say, cool. As soon as you burn the next fate, you get that fate, provided it happens in the next, few rounds or whatever of fighting the Inquisitors. If that goes south and happens, you'll be fine, whichever way happens.
Yeah. I'm hoping that when I don't know what I'm going to do with the Inquisitors because I'm the talky person. And so somehow I've got to large and pink the situation. I've got to hijack it because we went into that one thinking it was going to be a giant shootout too. And then Pseudo's down there just being like, and it's just like, what? And then it all just fell apart.
Oh yeah, on the bridge.
Yeah.
No
What?
one expected that, least of all me.
What actually made it fall apart in the end? I can't remember. It was going really well.
It was you managed to turn pink evil. Pink to your side for a second.
No, it wasn't pink. I managed to turn Tiny to our side, more or less. But we'd already set wheels in motion to have Pink go psycho and then all hell.
Oh
break loose.
yeah, because
It
the
was
information
Pink,
given
though.
to Pink made Pink
And we
fight
couldn't-
Tiny, and
Yeah, we couldn't put
That
the
was so
the
fun to
brake on it.
watch. That was so fun to watch. Especially
Yeah.
those low rolls actually working, and it's like, okay.
Pug and
They
Blowback
believe
did
you
nothing
now.
during that fight. We did jack shit nothing. We just stood there.
until Pink
Pug
tried to
got
leg
thrown
it,
off
and
the
then
roof.
you shot him.
That's true. I sniped him from the roof that was hella far away.
And he was going like 60 miles an hour because he had got a steed who used the speed power. And then he just falls off going 60 miles an hour onto gravel.
Yeah.
He was a pink smear. But yeah, Dark
I
Heresy.
don't know what to spend this on. Because I got last time the mighty shot. I guess I could just upgrade. I could just get sound constitution because I'm probably gonna need it.
True.
But I also feel like it won't make much difference. I'm probably gonna die anyway if I do.
Oh, don't be such a pessimist.
I'm taking mostly stuff that offsets psychic phenomena at this point. I already took favored by the warp now, so I get to roll twice and choose my result when I get psychic phenomena. And that in and of itself will really, really, really help offset things.
Yeah.
Although I think the way it's the PDF is that we have for the thing is wrong, because in the book it says you roll the first one, and if you don't like the result, you have the option to roll the second one, but regardless of what the second rolls, you have to keep it. Whereas on the PDF it says you roll twice and pick.
Ooh. I'll have to check the errata, because if it's been errated, one of them will be the newer version. It sounds like the PDF should be the newer version, but
Okay.
we'll have to check if there's an errata out. Otherwise, I guess the book takes precedent as it's a hard copy.
Yeah, the PDF's had a couple things like that where I've had to check it afterwards and be like, that doesn't read right. The book says this, and I wasn't totally sure.
Weird.
In regards to my picks, I'm probably going to need to have a look because 500 is quite a lot of EXP, and because of the way I've optimized Enoch's aptitude, that actually puts an awful lot of things in his price range. So I'm going to need
what
to
it puts
have a
into your
look.
price
at that.
range? Sound Constitution?
It does. It does put Sound Constitution into my price range. 100%. 100%.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it is absolutely. Though also, I mean, you can approach these sorts of things from two different directions. One, you assume you're going to get hit, and you just try to sound constitution, if I might use an EVE Online adage, is the equivalent of hull tanking. And everyone knows that real men hull tank, but everyone also knows that only idiots hull tank. So
yeah. I mean, the theory is you can out DPS something, you can kill it before it hits you. However, when there's enough people, and when you're a melee character who has to get close anyway, there are going to be situations where you open yourself up to fire.
Absolutely. So it's better to have a tank that isn't, I am just going to let them hit my body, but my body shall endure the blows, and I will, it's a fight of attrition. No. I just want to be able to dodge all of the things, or parry all of the things, multiple things. You know, those sorts of things is better. Yeah, that is, yeah.
A talent lets you like parry multiple times in a turn or something like that, like Flash of Blades or something like that.
Yeah. But then again, you can't parry dodge ranged attacks, so step aside might be the one you're thinking of for dodging.
Step aside for dodging, or just putting more points in dodge, because my parry's already a level 3.
Yeah, I really don't understand what they were thinking when they made dodge so much better than parry. Like, hands down, it's just absurdly better. Even what's really sad...
Counterattack. You never get an opportunity to counterattack off a dodge.
But you never get a counterattack off a parry unless you take a trait. So flat parry is so much worse, and even then upgraded
flat parry is worse, yeah.
I'd probably take an upgraded dodge.
Yeah, even force weapon parry is not that great. Like, yeah, it blows up their weapon, but most enemies have, like, multiple layers of weapons. Like, okay, you broke my sword, so now I'm just going to pull out a shotgun. And, oops, you're at point-blank range with me, and now I have a shotgun.
Honestly, shotgun wouldn't work in melee.
Yeah, it's a basic. But a power weapon, it only blows up something if they parry... No, if you parry them, why doesn't it work if they parry you? It's the same force. Like, honestly, can I just say, do we want to GM rule that now? That parrying either way works with a power weapon? Because that just blows my mind.
That, but yeah, there's a lot of things that I can now look into. Certain talents that'll just make me harder to kill because they're good in defensive roles.
I mean, step aside is
offensive
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, offensively, you already kill most things in one hit anyway, so I don't think a few more damage will make much of a difference.
Well, there's things like Whirlwind of Death, which allow me to kill all of the things that I'm in combat with at the same time, and that sort of stuff. You know, there are options which would, you know, genuinely make Enoch more survivable through being either more lethal or just more avoidy. But Sound to Constitution is a good fallback. But with 500 EXP, I can look at a lot of stuff at the moment.
Shen, what do you think of Garrett?
What I'm gonna do with my 500.
Thinking about double tap.
What's that do?
Gives you a second attack on the same target and a plus 20 to your aim if you had one or more degree of success.
Mm-hmm.
So just double tap long lads to the face?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, a double tap melter gun is just that's crazy.
I have it, but I have to get really close for that to work. I'm thinking
you might not have
las,
an option on that one.
I know, but I'm thinking ideally long las.
Yeah. Well, in this fight coming up, yeah, pretty much. If we can find some good cover and just, I was going to say hug it like our life depends on it, but that is actually what will be the case. Our life will depend on not sticking our head out where we don't need to. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting fight. So it's a very, very open area. So the long range is going to help. We know that as long as the Gene Stealer hasn't been too heavily modified, it's going to have a ridiculous agility. So it's going to be charging us down. That will close the distance quickly, unless it's trying to be tactical or the modifications have changed it in some way that deny it that. The Servitors, they can run, but they're not necessarily known for their agility. Binus, I would highly recommend the group do not assume that Binus is going to be anything like his Darkest Timeline counterpart or anything like that. Binus is going... You don't know what kind of crazy modifications he's got or what heretical tech he's plugged into himself. He could have the agility of a god. So we can make no assumptions there.
Yeah, I'd bait a couple long shots. I say to have Garrett put a couple sniper rounds downfield and just kind of see if he dodges and what agility numbers pop up. Although that's a little meta, but at the same time, I mean...
Well, I think anyway a good strategy would be like, get our long shot guy to just start shooting immediately. And with any luck, it'll die before he gets to us.
Yeah, That is a map that really favors Garrett. Like, Garrett's going to have a really, really strong position on that map with that long las. It's going to be pretty bad for most people he can land a shot on just because it's so open and straight.
Yeah. My intention is simply to have... Well, honestly, Enoch is probably going to act defensively in that he will hold... Enoch will play this the way I play RimWorld. My longest range people on the ramparts of the ducking out from behind a wall to take the shots, and then my meleeers stood right next to them or in front of them, but then they're shooting over their shoulders because the meleeer is there to stop whatever badness from actually getting into hand-to-hand combat range with my long range allies. And that's probably how Enoch's going to play. He's going to be trying to be fairly defensive. That is, in terms of the very basic combat. There's a lot of stuff on that map. I imagine there's a lot of ways that we're going to be able to do things if we think outside the box.
Sounds good to me.
Cassius,
Anyone
what are you thinking?
know what they're spending?
I'm
as far as
debating things.
Yeah, let me get my bookmarks out real fast. I know I've got some stuff here that I've got marked on the PDF. Honestly, I've only got 600 XP. That's enough to do like a couple things, but most of my skills at this point are at the point where they take at least like 300 to 400 to increase. And so I'm only probably looking at one minor upgrade. If I could, I wanted to work my way towards strong-minded.
Right.
But that would be a long play because I'd be getting strong-minded so that I could get a couple other things that make me really good against phenomena and perils and all that kind of stuff. And if the campaign's ending, I'm just not going to be able to get there, so there's no point working my way down that path. Honestly, I'll probably just dump some points into... it might be worth it to put some into perception, maybe. Just because my dodge is perception-based. Now that I'm running foreboding. If I could get an extra 10 points into foreboding, I think that would go really, really well, because that'd put me at 65. If I had saved the XP from last session, I could have gone up to Psi rating 5, sorcery 6, and that would have made it so that I would have a plus 50, so I would have a 25% chance of missing a dodge, basically, from then on in, which would have been super good, too. But, I probably end up being where I am right now. It's probably best that I try to get my perception up slightly.
Very cool.
I can't take double tap, by the way. Prerequisite is 2-weapon wielder, and I don't have that.
I think double tap is you make the second attack with the other weapon. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. It just didn't specify that.
In which case that might be in the errata.
Remind myself of what double tap is again. Second range. Same target plus 20 bonus. It's okay.
I think I'm going to take inescapable attack, which makes it much harder for enemies to dodge.
Yeah, is that the one where you spend a fate point and they can't dodge or something, or is that a different one?
No, this imposes penalty on all evasions attempt made against this attack equal to 10 times the total degrees of success.
Yeah, that is a
so
pretty
if I have 5 degrees success, they're just not going to dodge.
Yeah.
But there is one that allows you to just flat out spend fate, and it makes your attack unavoidable.
That said, fate is a limited resource, so
it all
both
is.
of their merits.
I'm just saying there is something out there for that as well.
Yeah.
Have you thought about bodyguard on Enoch?
Bodyguard. Yeah, it was one of the things I was looking at when I was just mentioning there that if I use him in a defensive capacity, I could have him out of the way of obvious attack until they try to attack someone who is within range of me, and then I just interject.
Alternatively, that would keep people from running the line too. So let's say you go out and you're fighting with somebody right here, and they decide to charge Cassius or charge Garrett. You instantly get to react to that and engage them, and you get one big attack with that Stormhammer, Thunderhammer, and that could be nasty as well for somebody as like a backup plan. But yeah, there's a lot of options right now for everybody's characters.
I think I'm going to spend my last points on getting my int up by 5.
I think I might get double tap.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Which
worth
would
it.
put me back 300.
Gives that plus 20 aim.
Garrett becoming super clever right now.
Well, it's the last of the points. Puts me at 0 XP to spend. If we're not going to get any more, why not?
Yeah, no, exactly. May as well.
So
The thing though with double tap is that it's plus 20 on the second shot, but only if the first shot works. And instead, for 400, I could get 2 weapon master, which would just give me 10 extra on both weapons because fixes the penalties you'd usually get. So I'll see if I can find something awesome for 200, and if not, I'll go for the 2 weapon master instead.
Yeah, the master sounds great.
you don't
Wouldn't
need
it be
a
nice
chance to
if
use
you had
it
all of it?
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but I've got the skill in it and everything. Don't know if I mentioned that in a previous after show, but I can use that, and I will. Probably against the Gene Stealer. Actually, probably just against everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So bear in mind, by the way, that since you're in a warp-infested area, there'll be bonuses to psychic powers, but there will also be increased chance of perils. I'll need to figure out how I'm doing that. It'll probably be something like every die that rolls a 7 in it or something, or whatever. I need to figure out what the number is. In addition, you've called home, you've landed, you've done all that. You're expecting reinforcements to come in at some point. You've got to make sure the forge is fine if you're going along for Van's idea. Make sure the warp drive shuts down so they don't escape. And you've got Bannis and his lovely little experiment over at the far end. It's going to be an interesting show. I don't really know how you're going to play this or how it's going to turn out. It's going to be intriguing. In general, you're fine for health, aren't you? You're just down a little bit of fate points across the board. Mostly Brenda.
I think everyone's at full health, yeah.
That was pretty much a flawless combat. I mean, there was really no incentive for us to come out of the ship. And by the time we did come out, they had mostly whittled away, I assume, some of the stuff that was extra nasty. I wasn't trying to get hit by those guys that were standing up on that stairwell with the heavy bolters or the heavy stubbers or whatever it was, because they were able to do like 9 damages a turn or whatever on a good roll. And so it's just like, I'm not going outside. Let's just stay in here.
Question. If we all have malignancies now, or at least most of us, are we aware of what they are? Like, personally, are we aware?
I mean, people who have bad dreams and stuff, people who are aware of they get bloodlusty sometime, people who are aware of wings growing out of their back.
Well, the wings, yeah, but as far as Garrett's bloodlust, he hasn't been injured since he got that malignancy. How would he know?
You feel kind of a vengeance towards enemies. You're like, I don't really want to leave my enemies alive. You feel that background, like, if they poke me, I will mess them up. And sometimes you can be like, I want to override that. We need to keep this person alive. Fine, I'll try my best. And you can try and willpower out of that. But you do still feel really vengeful towards people who try and attack you.
Okay.
So how does Brando work out that, like, he's addicted to drinking jet fuel? Is he just going to be like, he's just got cravings, but he's not going to know what they are?
Because we were running out of time, I forgot to mention it, but effectively, what I was going to have is that when you're in the docking bay, I was going to be like, you look at one of the pumps nearby and you're really tempted to take a swig.
I'm just really confused. He gets
it didn't happen, so you dodged the bullet. Hooray!
Yeah, I kind of feel like the malignancies came so far in the campaign that it doesn't really fucking matter anyways, because we're just about to exit.
I mean, Enoch's wing is like only just starting to poke through the back now. Like, it's only been, a few hours.
Somebody should take Hatred Mechanicus right now, because you get the Vengeful 9 quality. This would be the time to take it if you were going to take it. Hatred Mechanicus or Hatred Gene Stealer.
I have that. The Gene Stealer one.
You do?
Branda has it for a reason.
In that case, Branda, you're the one who's up front. Good. Thank you. I'm very glad we have
weapon skill, and I've been doing loads of ballistic skill stuff.
Very glad we had this talk, Branda. You can save the day now. And if you fail, I will save the day after you.
Gonna lose all my fate.
No.
Like, the Gene Stealer will get to me, and you're like, okay, we've got 2 turns before his fate is out and he's completely gone. 3, actually.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yep. So for 3 turns, you'll be able to shoot him while he just mauls me to death. Over and over.
Yeah. How many more legs will you need?
Too many. All of them.
So, this
probably extra head.
this is probably a good place to end the after show then for today. Really looking forward to the next show. I think most of the stuff is we have no idea how next show is really going to go down, and we're all aware of that. So there's nothing really more to talk about except for finding out what happens next time, and then there'll be probably some very interesting after show, maybe with a lot of salt. Depends on how it goes.
Man, I wish we had Dax here so we could just whisper to Binus' experiment. Jump. So it jumps into the lava. We're good to go.
That is very true. That is very, very true. You don't know really what it is yet. It looks vaguely like lava from a distance. If you get towards the edge, you can see better. For now, from your angle, you can see mostly.
It's Jello.
It's totally Jello.
It's going to be so tasty.
Warp Jello.
I would laugh so much if there's some sort of thing happens that causes Shen to run into it.
The demon is just Bill Cosby down in the warp Jello. Just look at him.
I'm calling it now. Something's gonna happen. Shen is gonna flee straight into the warp lava.
Oh my god. I can so see that.
So Brander and Garrett, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you jumping straight into the warp, Jello.
Yep. It's swimming time. Gotta strip down to your swim trunks, of course.
Yeah, but that'll be next time.
Garrett's are full metal swim trunks.
Anything else would be heresy.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Roll safe.
Adios.